Hello and welcome to the Hoop Circle. Today's special guest is the fabulous and awesome Chris Gogler, coming all the way from Berlin, Germany. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
And how are you doing today?
Pretty great. It was a lovely sort of late summer day in Berlin and I had a good day.
Nice. And you're not from Berlin originally, you're from Australia, aren't you?
Yes, I moved to Europe 8 years ago and I've been living in Berlin for 7 years now.
Oh, nice. So you started hooping in 2010. So was it, you were still in Australia when you started hooping?
Yes, yeah. I learned from a couple of friends of mine. We had one friend who just exploded into our lives with hula hoops all of a sudden, and we were like, oh my god, this is incredible. And I was really fixated on it all of a sudden. And yeah, and so my friend Kat, she's like this beautiful 6 foot tall dreadlocked Amazon woman, and she taught us and fire hooped and taught my good friend Alice. My friend Alice developed her own style, and then they were teaching me, and yeah, we were learning from YouTube. And yeah.
Oh, nice. And whereabouts in Australia were you living at the time?
In Adelaide. So I'm from Adelaide originally, and I was there, yeah, at that time. And my friends moved to Melbourne as well, and so I visited them a bunch of times, and they were doing a whole bunch of hooping in Melbourne. Yeah.
Nice. And what kind of stuff were you doing before you came to hooping? Did you have a background in dance and stuff like that before hoop?
Yeah. I studied classical, mostly classical, but also contemporary dance for 1.5 years full time. I basically finished high school and I got a really great end of year grade, and there was I sort of felt like the world was my oyster. And just before I finished my school exams, I was like, oh, maybe I want to be a dancer, because that's kind of like the impossible dream. And then I applied really late to WAPA, the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts. It's a really great school for dance, musical theatre. Hugh Jackman went there. It's had a bunch of very well people who are great in their field. And I got accepted. I went there for 1.5 years, met a lot of amazing people, and then at some point I got injured and I kind of reassessed what I wanted out of life and out of movement and out of dance, and I quit the course and then kind of let myself free into the world.
That explains, because I mean, you're very much known for kind of, as well as your twins stuff within hoop, known for your kind of clean lines and very kind of head to toe body awareness and movement. And do you think that that's shaped your hooping style a lot? What is it that you've taken from your pre-hoop life into your hooping?
Definitely the classical component. We were learning 40 hours a week, full-time dance, and that really sort of has stuck and stayed in my body. And I came from having not danced for I hadn't danced for the whole year before I went there, and I'd only started dancing again when I was 13 or 14. I danced when I was really, really young, and then I had a big break, and then I just really, really wanted to do it, and was just really passionate about it. And then I stopped to do my final year of school, and then I was super rusty, and I was just really, really motivated to get up to the level that everybody else was at. So I worked super hard, and I think that just stuck in my body a lot of it. Yeah.
Awesome. And now you do a lot of teaching as well as performing. I've had you come and teach here for my Hoop Festival, Unicorn Hoop Festival, which was fabulous. And one of the things I love about your teaching, other than just the fact that you're amazing at teaching tricks and you have such unique tricks and amazing style with it, is the fact that your way of controlling the room is so much fun. So can you explain a little bit of that to viewers if they haven't had you teach them before?
Yeah. Well, I set rules when I start my workshop usually, and it's important for me to create a space where everybody is having fun, but also where people feel like they can try new things, and I put a ban usually on people apologizing to each other, because as part of like the hoop experience, especially when you're learning, the hoops are flying everywhere, and I just don't want people to apologize for their learning. So people aren't allowed to say sorry. And I stole this great thing from my friend Tom, who's a yoga teacher in Berlin, and he would basically say anytime that somebody said sorry or apologized, they'd have to say, "I'm not sorry, I'm sexy." So so you get like a whole room of people like kind of controlling each other's behavior in a nice way. And yeah, and usually it's also for me because I apologize for silly things, and I'm trying to like stop that habit. Yeah, and I really like to break up the learning components with games, or like mostly actually kind of like body awareness or body relaxation things, or just like silly things that everyone can do together. Yeah, I got sort of interested in the concept of like the way you can design a space and an experience for people, and just thought, oh, you can have so much fun with how you do that, especially when it comes to learning, and especially when you have a group of people who are so up for having fun and trying new things anyway, and very supportive of each other, then you have the perfect space to be able to like play with the teaching, and then people like play back, which is great.
No, definitely. I feel like it kind of allows your brain and body that moment for the things you've just learned to sink in as well, which is really nice, because sometimes you want to pack as much into a workshop as possible, but sometimes your brain just melts from that and you don't feel like you take it all in.
Yeah, and I'm terrible for putting too much content in workshops. Like
I'm the same. It's hard to not want to give everyone as much as you possibly can, and to remember like that isn't always the best thing you can do. Is so hard. Sometimes like, oh, there's another thing I can show you.
Yeah, but I often want more and more and more, and I usually delve into my like, so I'm kind of from this thing of like my brain is like more. But yeah, but not always, obviously.
And how did you get into twin hooping? Did you kind of see other people you learnt from with that, or what was it that got you into that side of it?
My first twins workshop was with Emma Kenna, of course, in Berlin, and I like, yeah, there couldn't be like a better person to like kickstart that love of twins for me. So like Emma has been my like biggest inspiration. I mean, just generally with hooping, with like so many different things, with the way that she lives and the way that she is. But yeah, it was super nice. She just gave us like this, it was probably like a 3-hour workshop, I think, in total, and I'd never had twins in my hands before at all, and was just like
And that actually leads really nicely on to the hoopers who inspire you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got a great, very varied list. Couple of people who've been like top favourites on the show. So Emma Kenna is one of the people you picked. What is it that really inspires you about her hooping?
Her style. Like Emma has a style that in every single thing that she does in life, she has like a flavor in who she is, in the way that she talks to people, and the way that she lives her life, and the philosophies that she lives her life by. And I think like, yeah, her style is so attractive. There's something so lovely about it. So it's not just like the amazing technique, it's just like this groove that she has that I just really love watching. Yeah, I could watch her.
I think there's some of those hoopers, when you watch them, you see so much of their personality coming through in their hooping, and I'd say like you're a perfect example of that, and so is Emma. Like, just really, you see so much of your personality in every way you express yourself with the hoops.
Yeah, I love to see that. I think that's what the nice thing is, that everybody sort of develops their own style, and then when you know somebody's personality and then you see them that as an extension of themselves, it's so beautiful to see that.
So definitely. And the second hoop you picked is again another favourite on the hoop circle in inspirational hoopers, is Lila Chupa-Hoops. Very different style from Emma. What is it that you enjoy about Lila's hooping?
Lila is amazing. I don't know, it's so hard to describe. Yeah, Lila is just has an incredible sense of movement. Like her sense of her own body within space with a prop is pretty amazing to behold. And yeah, her style and her elegance, like she's put a lot of thought and done a lot of research into what she does, and you can really see it in every moment. So yeah, it's amazing to see her on stage, to see her move, and to see her teach, because you can just see how much thought has gone into and care has gone into what she does, and then the execution is just fantastic.
Definitely so graceful and elegant. I absolutely love watching her with any prop. You just give her any of the props she works with, it's like, yeah, gorgeous. And the final person you picked is Skye Flow artist. Again, very different style. What is it you like about Skye's hooping?
Yeah, Skye's hooping is so uniquely it's very curious. It's full of so many different moments of wonder and surprise and beauty and elegance, and that's very much the way that she that's her view of the world as well. It's so nice, like she goes through the world listening to music and seeing things in the same way that she expresses them in her hoop. So it's kind of like, yeah, she's a bit of a magical creature. Yeah. And that's kind of what her hooping is like. It's very it's fantastic. It's kind of like an expression of that wonder. So, and then it creates wonder to see it as well. So that's, yeah.
No, definitely. And I think there's something to be said for, like, you don't get that many hoopers who cross over so many of the different hoop worlds, like the rhythmic gymnastic and the hoop dance and the circus hoop, and then still having like super clean isolations, like to have all of those, and the musicality and the flexibility. It's like everything's being ticked, and then also being like a super nice human being. It's like, and having the longest hair in the world. So many.
She's really cool.